Hi there. Thanks for joining me. I'm Adam from Matrix Requirements. Today I'm going to zoom in a little bit more on CAPAS, Corrective and Preventative Actions. And I'm actually going to zoom in on two specific parts related to CAPAS. The first is the root cause analysis, and the second is a CAPA effectiveness check. So get your seatbelts on and let's get started. A CAPA, also known as a corrective and preventative action, is used to improve processes and products by addressing and eliminating the causes of non-conformities or other undesirable situations. A CAPA is broken down into two parts. The first part is the corrective action. This part involves identifying the root cause of a problem that has already occurred. Corrective actions are reactive in nature, therefore they happen after the incident has occurred. The second part is the preventative action. Here we identify and eliminate potential causes of future non-conformities or undesirable situations. This means that this happens before they occur. As I mentioned earlier, the goal of this video is to zoom in on two components of a CAPA, the first being the root cause analysis, or the RCA, and the second being a CAPA effectiveness check. I've decided to zoom in on these because they are essential for the quality assurance process within your medical device company. So let's start off. What is a root cause analysis? A root cause analysis is a systematic process that is designed to help organizations identify, understand, and address the underlying reasons behind a problem. This is important to emphasize because it's not about simply treating the symptoms on the surface. It's really about understanding the root cause of that problem. This approach is critical in industries where the stakes are high, such as the medical device industry, where the safety, quality, and reliability of products can directly impact human lives. So the importance of an RCA cannot be overstated. And what's really important to note is that by thoroughly investigating incidences and non-conformities, organizations can prevent these problems from happening again in the future. All of these above points impact the safetiness and the effectiveness of a medical device and how it can impact human life. In the medical device industry, where products range from simple medical devices such as surgical gloves to more complicated software as a medical device, the potential for problems is vast, and the consequences of these problems can be severe. The RCA involves many different steps, including the identification of the root cause and implementing corrective actions to prevent reoccurrence. These steps typically include, firstly, the problem identification. Here, you'll need to clearly identify the problem by gathering the relevant data and describing the issue in detail. The second is the cause analysis. Why did it happen? What caused that problem? This part here is the central part of the root cause analysis. This step often includes a cause and effect diagram to visualize where the problem occurred. And the final step is using tools and techniques, such as the 5 whys, to really drill down into the symptoms of the problem to understand the root cause. I'll explain a little bit more about the 5 whys and other techniques a little bit later on in the video. The final step is the corrective actions step. This part follows the identification of the root cause. Once the root cause is identified, determining and implementing the corrective actions needed to prevent reoccurrence is the next step. And of course, once the corrective actions are implemented, it's time to monitor the situation. As mentioned earlier, there are several tools and techniques that can be used within the RCA process. These can include the 5 whys technique. It's a really simple method of asking why 5 times to really delve into the symptoms of a problem and understand why it's occurring. The second is the fishbone diagram, also known as the cause and effect diagram. Here, this is used to identify potential factors that cause an effect. This is typically used for fault finding or problem solving. Another method is the failure mode and effects analysis. This approach involves reviewing as many components, assemblies, and subsystems to understand their failure modes, and in turn, their cause and effect. Another key analysis tool is the Pareto analysis. This is based on the Pareto principle that 80% of our problems come from 20% of causes. This tool helps in identifying the most significant problems. In the context of the medical device industry, the RCA is not just a nice to have. It's a regulatory requirement in many jurisdictions. Regulatory bodies such as the FDA in the United States or under the medical device regulation in Europe require medical device companies to have a thorough RCA to ensure the efficacy of their medical device. And what's more, by adhering to these regulations, you're not only following the law, but you're also building trust with consumers and healthcare providers. Ultimately, what's really important to remember is that the root cause analysis is here to ensure that medical devices coming onto the market are safe, effective, and reliable. In the next part of this video, we'll jump into a CAPA effectiveness check, one of the other components of a corrective and preventative action. The goal of a CAPA effectiveness check is to ensure that the RCA, the root cause analysis that you've just implemented, aligns with the new process that you've implemented within your organization to prevent reoccurrence of the problem. There are 3 key steps to perform a CAPA effectiveness check, and it starts from the high-level CAPA. Firstly, before implementing your CAPA, define what success looks like. Secondly, you'll need to schedule a follow-up review to assess the CAPA effectiveness. The timing should allow for there to have been enough data to be collected to make an informed assessment. And finally, data is your friend. Gather all relevant data related to your CAPA effectiveness check. This may include quality metrics, product yields, incident rates, and any other relevant data points. Analyze this data to check if there has been an improvement or if the problem has been resolved. So what are the best practices to ensure the most effective CAPA effectiveness check? Firstly, get your team involved. It's really important to have team involvement from all levels of the organization for a comprehensive perspective. Secondly, make sure your team is effective in getting to action fast once the CAPA has been highlighted and implemented. You may notice here some really key insights from the data received from your team. And as soon as you have enough data, leverage it. It's really important to highlight that throughout this whole process, documentation needs to be your friend. The more thorough and complete your documentation, the easier your audit will be. So maintain documentation throughout the RCA and the CAPA effectiveness check, as this will help with your future audits and continuous improvement. If you'd like to stay up to date on CAPAs, CAPA effectiveness checks, root cause analysis, or you're going through this process at the moment, feel free to reach out to the team at Matrix Requirements. I'll add a link below which details more about the CAPA process and what you need to be aware of, and some further top tips. And if you'd like to learn more about Matrix Requirements, feel free to reach out to the team. See you next time.